And I can see that. So Adam and Zoya, what is are the river towns already discovered and that's old news or what's going on?
Definitely, definitely old. Definitely old
What?
news at this point. I mean, people are just trying to, and of course, I mean, it all comes down to someone's budget. You can
Okay,
you can still find a cute house under $1 million.
Sure.
And then, but it depends what your expectations are. I think that for the most part, an average buyer that's coming to Westchester, and we hear this every day, the
hmm,
first thing that they say is that they want to spend less time commuting and spending more time with their families. So the
got it.
commute is going to be whatever the rock bottom commute, So you're looking at areas like Bronxville, the river towns, and Pelham are as really the go-to because the commute is, I mean, it's 30 minutes to get
That's
into Midtown.
amazing.
Mhm.
And
And so what are the up and coming areas right now out in Westchester that you would
so
think would
up
be
and coming, there's a very sweet town called Croton on Hudson, which is still on the Hudson, has beautiful views, very
okay?
hilly, really pretty, elevations and things like that, and a lot of older homes with
It's where
character.
all your water comes from, Martin. The Croton
Oh
Reservoir.
wow. Well,
So it's beautiful. They have a lot of trails. I mean, a lot
uh-huh.
of nature.
And an express train.
And on top of that, there's an express train. So 48 minutes, I think it is, to get into Midtown. For people who are commuting for work.
Okay, that's great.
Uh,
And the
and
train is very different than driving because you can actually work on the train or do stuff, right?
exactly. So, I when we moved here, I called it a very civilized view. It's not like being, it's a very civilized commute, unlike the subway necessarily, where you're actually sitting. There are quiet cars where no one dares to speak, and you have a beautiful view the whole way in. So
Wow,
it's
that sounds great.
yeah.
So this is and we prepped on this a little bit. So maybe quickly if you could, what are maybe the one or two wants of Westchester, and I'm going to ask the same thing about Greenwich. Is there what would be a con or something?
A
It's
con?
always tough to ask salespeople these questions.
I don't really.
Well, I mean, I grew up in Manhattan. I grew up so I'm like, I didn't grow up in the suburbs, so I have a very different perspective. So when you say what are the negatives, I mean, depending on whether I've had any coffee or not, I can have a lot of negatives. I'm trying to look at things positively lately. So
No, but I think that growing up in the city, what draws us to the city? I mean, every single food choice that you
Right.
can
Well,
imagine.
let me put
I
it this
can't
way,
I
if I may
can't get
interrupt.
cafe con
I mean,
leche in
so
the morning. I can't do much at 4 in the
Yeah,
morning.
I think the restaurant and the choices. I think for me probably that still and things have changed so much in the last 10 years since we moved here. I mean, I remember moving here and going into town
right.
on Sunday, and I couldn't find a coffee shop that was open because the one coffee shop that they had at the time was off on Sundays, and I'm like, how do you close a coffee shop? So
Right.
but things have
Understood.
changed. But
Fair
I
enough.
think that the restaurants and like
Okay.
entertainment, you're still going into the city, but the beauty is that you're so close that you have that. You just get in your car and just drive in.
Yeah.